What? Let's talk about Tyus Jones, the point guard for the Washington Wizards this past season. He is currently a free agent, and frankly, I am a bit surprised that we haven't seen his name pop up on the ticker on ESPN talking about Tyus Jones agrees to blah blah whatever deal, because he's a really good player and he's coming off the best year of his career. He started every game this year for the Wizards. He played in 66 games, in which he started all of them. Played 29 minutes a game, 7.3 assists, 12 points per game, and shot the best percentage from three that he's ever shot in his career at right around 41, 42%. So I think what's going on here is I think Tyus, knowing how good he is and being one of the top point guards in the league when it comes to assist turnover ratio, I think he knows that he wants to start and he wants to be a starting player in the league, and wants to see if he can expand on what he did last year. Albeit Washington had a pretty rough season, losing season, so maybe a lot of teams are kind of looking at his stats and saying, well, was he just putting up those numbers because, like someone has to score, someone has to get numbers. But I mean, the assist number, I think you can't really say something like that about getting assists, because like he's got to be making good plays and he's got to be, giving the ball to people who are then making shots in order to get those assists. So it's not just him putting up numbers. It's, an actual metric of good basketball being played, even if it's just in instances in a pretty rough game for the team. So I think, teams that are going to want a guard like Tyus Jones, they're going to be winning teams, maybe like the Heat or Minnesota, and I don't think he really wants to go there and then back up, another starting player. In Minnesota, he'd probably be backing up Mike Conley. They also just drafted Rob Dillingham. So, in the Heat, I don't think, I think that one's more likely, but I still don't think he's going to get the type of playing time and be in the situation that he really wants to be in. I would love it if he came back to the Wizards, but it kind of makes things a little more complicated now that we have Malcolm Brogdon. So that'll be really interesting to see if he winds up coming back. I mean, I don't think he's going to do that, but it certainly would be interesting. I was also thinking, I was like, who is better, Tyus Jones or Malcolm Brogdon? I think the answer is Malcolm Brogdon, but Tyus Jones has he's a few more years younger, so he doesn't really, he's probably not going to experience his decline, as soon as Malcolm Brogdon is going to. And I already feel like Malcolm Brogdon is getting hit with more and more injuries as he gets older. So, it'd be good to have Tyus Jones just for the long run and have Malcolm Brogdon as well for, the expiring contract, as well as just having him for, veteran leadership in the locker room. So, I think it's very interesting. I think there's been free agents getting signed that aren't as, valuable as Tyus Jones, but, I don't know what the league's thinking right now. Get the guy that's getting dimes.